Okay, so in the last few chapters in Cupid Doesn't Flip Hamburgers, we found out that Eddie and Howie figured out maybe they could make an antidote to the love potion cookies. And so they went with the old saying, sugar and spice and everything nice, that's what little girls are made of. Snips and snails and puppy dog tails, that's what little boys are made of. So they decided to put a whole bunch of sour stuff inside of a bowl and add it to Miss Rosenblum's cookie dough. Unfortunately, though, Eddie got caught and he was made to eat a cookie. And when we left off, Carrie was walking down the hall. We know what happens when you eat a cookie and you get a red heart pin. But let's find out what happens next. So we're going to pick up on chapter 11, Head Over Heels. Wow, Eddie whispered. Look how Carrie's hair bounces. Well, there's our answer. We know it's going to work. Howie grinned. If it bounced any more, we could use her head for a basketball. And it's so shiny, Eddie continued, as if he hadn't heard a word Howie said. I just love it. Howie stopped and stared at his best friend. What did you say? I just noticed how nice Carrie looks. That's all, Eddie says. Eddie smiled at Carrie, and Carrie smiled back. She was looking at Eddie and didn't watch where she was going. Wham! Carrie walked right into Ben, the meanest, toughest bully in the entire 4th grade. The boy fell, scattered books and homework all over the floor. I'd better help Ben. Ben's liable to beat her up. Eddie rushed over to Carrie and helped her up. Then he scrambled to pick up her things. Sorry, Ben apologized. I didn't mean to run into you. What's got into him? Eddie asked as Ben walked away. He's usually so mean. Carrie shrugged her shoulders. Then she batted her eyelashes at Eddie. It was because you were protecting me. You probably saved my life. Damsel in distress she is. Eddie stood up straight. It was nothing. I'd be honored to carry your things to class, he said in his best grown-up voice. Howie called from across the hall. Can't you see I'm busy? Eddie snapped. Carrie needs my help. But what about our plan? What plan? Carrie asked sweetly. Eddie smiled at her. Howie and I were doing a little cooking, but I don't want to anymore. What about Mrs. Rosenblum's cookies? Howie said. Carrie patted her stomach. Those are the best cookies I've ever tasted. Maybe you should try one, Eddie told Howie. Then Eddie walked Carrie into the classroom. Oh no, this is not looking good for Howie. He seems like the lone man now. Lone wolf. Howie slumped against the wall, his head over heels for Carrie. Now what am I going to do? It looks like you need some sweetening up, a voice echoed in the hall. Howie jumped to see Mrs. Rosenblum staring at him. I don't need anything, he said. Now, sweetie, you're as sour as lemon peels. One of my special cookies will put a smile on your face. Again, I don't know why she has a southern accent. It just felt right. No, thanks, Howie stammered and backed around a corner. He ran right into Liza and Melanie. Oh, well, here we go. Fun times. We've been looking all over for you, Melanie said. Have you decided yet? Decided what? Howie asked. Which one of us you like better, silly, Liza giggled. Howie glared at the girls. I'm beginning to think I don't like either of you. Liza stiffened. How dare you even think that? I'm sorry, Howie said. I didn't mean it. Well, Melanie said loudly and crossed her arms. You're going to have to decide, and that's all there is to it. Liza crossed her arms and tapped her foot on the floor. Both girls stared at Howie. Howie began. Yes, Melanie and Liza leaned closer to Howie. Howie took a deep breath. There was only one thing to say. I will make my decision right after lunch. Good choice, right? Both girls walked into the classroom whispering, I bet he likes me better. Howie gulped. Oh, he knew he wouldn't feel much like eating lunch today. He hoped that Mrs. Rosenblum hadn't seen Eddie throw the anti-love potion into her cookie batter. It was his only chance. As a matter of fact, it was the only chance for Baliey Elementary. Chapter 2. Puppy Dog Tales. By lunchtime, Howie was feeling sick. He walked by himself to the lunchroom. Everyone else was blowing kisses and making goo-goo eyes at each other. Filing through the lunch line, Howie caught a glimpse of Mrs. Rosenblum's newest batch of cookies. There was a huge heart-shaped tray piled high with them. But today the cookies weren't bright red. They were sort of brown and splotchy. Yes, Howie said to himself. The anti-love potion was in there. But would it work? Mrs. Rosenblum shook her head. I'm not sure what happened. I followed my usual recipe, but today they look different. And for some reason, there's enough for the entire school. Help yourself. Kids grabbed handfuls of the cookies, and the pile dwindled away. Howie took his tray to a table in the corner of the cafeteria. He picked at his heart-shaped potato cake and looked around the room. Eddie was giggling with Carrie at the table in another corner. Liza and Melanie were winking at him. Ben and Izzy were staring into each other's eyes. Even Mrs. Jeepers was giving half her sugar cookie to Principal Davis. Howie held his breath. People were eating the cookies. Yuck! Principal Davis bellowed, spitting cookie everywhere. This is the worst cookie I have ever tasted. What is in them? Puppy dog tails, Howie chuckled to himself. Mrs. Rosenblum rushed out of the kitchen as kids all over the cafeteria complained about the cookies. What's wrong? She asked. These cookies are horrible, Principal Davis told her. Mrs. Rosenblum shook her head and rushed back into the kitchen. I don't understand. I didn't change the recipe one bit. The next day at lunchtime, Liza and Melanie brought their lunch trays over to sit with Howie. There's not a trace of yesterday's Valentine's, Melanie said. This place looks so ordinary now, Liza said sadly. I liked all the decorations. The three kids looked around the cafeteria. Not a single red or pink heart remained anywhere. I guess Mrs. Rosenblum took them with her, Melanie said. I heard Principal Davis telling the secretary that she was moving to the mountains. She wanted to be up near the clouds on the mountaintops, he said. I guess we're free from Cupid's spell now, Howie sighed. Until next Valentine's Day, Liza added. Eddie brought his tray and sat down beside them. I fixed Carrie, he giggled. When she wasn't looking, I put pepper in her mouth. I thought you liked Carrie, Howie asked. Eddie rolled his eyes. Are you crazy? I can't stand her. Howie looked at Melanie and Liza. Are you guys still mad at each other, he asked. What are you talking about? We never fight, Melanie said. So we're still friends, Howie asked hopefully, glad the things were getting back to normal. Of course, Melanie and Liza said together. We love being your friend. That's the end. So I'm going to get a couple more of these books. But what do you guys think? Do you think she really was Cupid? Does it all add up? I think it kind of does. But let me know in the comments what you guys think.